Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points tonight, it's Ross County securing an historic League Cup win over Hibernian yesterday at Hampden. We'll discuss the events in that match. Josh McGuinness thinks Aberdeen can win the title. We'll look back at all the weekend results across the SPFL and look ahead to some key games this week. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and our bookroom guest as ever on a Monday is Gordon Smith. So, Ross County win it. Did they deserve to win it, Ruffy?
I think on the basis of the way that Hibs played, I think Hibs probably edged it. I think if you remember the game, it was the Ross County goalkeeper that was making all the saves, and two quality saves into the bargain. And saying that, you know, I mean, Ross County come down, they gave it a good shot, and you wouldn't want to take it away from them. No, they got there by beating Celtic. They put up a good show. Their supporters were absolutely impeccably behaved. They added a lot. It was a small number, but they added something to the game. And when you look at the whole package of Ross County, the owner, where they've come from and everything, I don't think anybody would want to take it away from them.
Yeah, on the first half, Gordon, I could only see one winner, but in the second half, if anything, Hibs might have been guilty of being just a little over-elaborate.
Yeah, I think you're right. I thought that Hibs were the better team, probably over the 90 minutes as well, but you're right, they were a little bit over-elaborate at times. You know, they were passing the ball about maybe when they could have been in a bit quicker and getting through on chances. But I thought that, I mean, to be honest with you, they gave away a bad goal. I thought we were heading for extra time. But the winning goal, I feel sorry for the Fontaine. They'd scored a goal, and it's a bit of a real error because I think that, you know, Ross County had made their substitutions. Hibs had still a man to bring on, and I thought they were even looking a bit fitter than Ross County. And it's the first time they've lost, I think, this season to a Premier side. Hibs, isn't it? They've had some great results, but they must be disappointed because it was a final.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Jim McIntyre summed it up. You know, nobody really ever remembers losers in this situation. He wasn't being in any way derogatory towards Hibernian, but I think that message to the players before they go out just sticks in their mind. Go out there, don't leave anything in the dressing room, leave it all out in the park, Ruffy.
Yeah, as Gordon will tell you, when you're in a cup final and the final whistle goes and you're on the receiving end, it's the most horrible feeling in the world. And you could see the Hibs players reacting to it, the younger ones in particular, Liam Henderson, Cummins, they just sank to the floor, head in hands. And this is when Alan Stubbs will have to earn his corn. You know, there's a big game coming up on Wednesday. They've still got the run-in in the league, so you'll have to lift them. It's a horrible feeling standing in the sidelines watching everybody else celebrating.
Yeah, and I think you've probably got the best message possible for the Ross County players. The great thing is they've etched their names in the history books forever as the first team to win a major domestic honour for Ross County, but it doesn't happen on a regular occurrence, as you'll testify.
No, you're right, and that's why you should sample it, sample the day, sample the occasion with everybody you know, even the fans, you know. It's a day that after it happens, you wish you could revisit it, you wish you could go right back to 3 o'clock if you knew you were going to win the game, and you can't do it. So you could see the Ross County boys, you could see where we Gardyne, you know, it's just soaking up every minute with the phone, taking everybody's photograph, every selfie that he could get in it, and then he'll keep that, and that'll be his memory. Because you're right, you know, there's no guarantee that Ross County will get there again.
But that's why Hibs, I think, you know, the Scottish Cup would mean so much to them, Peter. You know, a lot of people say, no, the promotion and all that, but that same feeling that the Ross County players are going to get, and we've seen it recently with St Johnstone players and Inverness players, the Hibs players would be exactly the same if they win the Scottish Cup this year, because they haven't done it for such a long time that would etch in all their memories, and I think they would react a bit the same if they win the Scottish Cup as the way the Ross County players reacted yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know how they lift themselves, Ruffy.
Well, we keep saying it's a funny old game. If Hibs had won that cup yesterday, I think you would guarantee they would have a fantastic run into the end of the season. You know, it would just lift everybody, and you'd want the next game to come, you'd want the Inverness game to come, you'd want the Rangers game, you want play everybody. But now, on the back of that, the disappointment and everything, then you have to pick yourself up. And then when you go to lose a goal in the last minute, the way it was, then that's when the breaks don't come for you. You know, you go into every game thinking, oh, we never got that wee break there, we never. But hopefully that's not the case, because Hibs have put in a fantastic season, particularly Alan Stubbs and the players, and you wouldn't like to see that happening to any team.
It's unbelievable that 2 of the 3 major domestic trophies are now in the Highlands.
Highlands.
If you to suggest that at the start of the season, people would think you'd lost your mind.
Absolutely. I mean, it is amazing when you think about it. I mean, both teams have come up through the system from the Highland League. They've come through, and they're still not big supported clubs. I mean, that's the thing. They're still pretty small clubs in terms of the support, the crowd. I mean, I think that nearly the whole of Dingwall was there yesterday at Hampden because it's a small town.
Yeah.
But Roy McGregor has done a fantastic job as the chairman. I don't think anybody else could have done for the club what he's done, just because of the financial backing he's given them, the support he's given to his managers, and he has allowed them to get players in. So I think this is the reward really for Roy McGregor, because he's done a great job there. But you're absolutely right to think that the 2 trophies are now up there in the Highlands at the same time, held by the 2 clubs, and I mean only a few miles apart, the 2 towns as well. So I think it's incredible. Yeah,
and of course the downside to it all, Ruffy, is there's a booze ban for 7 days for the Ross County players. What a nightmare that must have been, going up on the bus.
Yeah, but I mean, the players are so professional now. There's a time to celebrate and a time not to. They've still got a lot to play for as well, and but it will be some celebration in 7 days, and I think they'll obviously, the good thing about it is they'll probably hold it in Dingwall and they'll celebrate with the fans that are up there, and that's quite right, because a lot of fans maybe never made it to the game. So when they're up there in 7 days, they can have a ball. Yeah,
absolutely. Big game against St Johnstone on the horizon, and I think the double whammy, they'll get the open top bus parade, that's a certainty, Gordon. But if they can get top 6 as well, it's a season to remember.
Well, it is, because we saw that last year with Inverness. When they won the cup, they got also into a European spot because of that. And I think that's exactly, I think Ross County have got that as their ambition just now as well, Peter. They want to be the team that, is right up there. They've got a cup that doesn't get them into Europe, but I think they want to try and get a 4th spot to try and push that. So the game against St Johnstone is crucial. I can understand why they don't want the players celebrating for the game, because they're sitting level in points with St Johnstone.
Yeah, I think there's a queue already at the park right now. People can get their photograph taken with the League Cup, and why not? It's a once in a lifetime for many who win the domestic honours in Scotland. So from there, let's look back at the weekend results in the Premiership in Scotland, because there's a title race going on, and you can see Motherwell defeating Dundee United on the Friday, but it was an early start for Celtic. Lee Griffiths again, 35th goal of the season. Aberdeen responded later on in the afternoon with a 2-1 win over Kilmarnock, and Hearts continue on their merry way, securing 3rd place. I don't think anybody's getting near them. Whether Hearts can get near Aberdeen is another matter. And a big win for Hamilton Accies against Inverness. So Josh McGuinness has come out today, and he says he reckons his old team Aberdeen can win the title.
I think we all agree with that. I don't think any of us thought the gap would be where it is just now. We all thought Celtic would go on to 16, 17 points, but that's not the case. And Derek McInnes has come out, and he'll be talking to the players as well. He'll be telling them how to handle the situation, because a lot of them haven't been there before. But certainly when you go on that winning run where it's 2-1, 1-0, you do start to believe. And certainly there's big games coming up, and these are the games that we'll have to win.
Can you understand what Derek McInnes is talking about when he mentioned that individual performances could be the key to their title aspirations?
Oh, I think so. I think you're right. I mean, they obviously lost Rooney, but the thing is, they've got McGinn back in there now. They've got Hayes, who creates so much. I mean, I saw the highlights of the game, and all the time he was putting in some great crosses. He's always a threat. He made the winning goal in the end up, which was amazing. So I think it is down to individuals, but they're also, you know what league winning form is? When you're actually not playing that well and you're getting results, that's league winning form, because you cannot keep that level of consistency going the whole time. But at the moment, there seems to be a belief there, and even the 2 games they had during the week there, they struggled at times during the matches, but they ended up with 6 points.
Yeah, and of course, if you've got somebody like the towering Ash Taylor who can get them from set pieces as well, Ruffy, they've got a nice mix right across the park.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're looking at your strikers and the guys that are scoring goals regularly, but when they're not scoring goals, that's when you need other people to pop up with the odd goal. And certainly with him at set pieces, he's a big lad. If the boy Constantine could score goals as well. He seems to be in the end there a lot as well, but not scoring as much. But no, I think they'll be confident. But I think Robbie Nielsen made a good point that Hearts have got a big play in this. You know, they've got to play Celtic and Aberdeen twice, and that could be the dividing time.
Yep, we're going to talk Robbie Nielsen. We'll also talk about the Celtic striker Lee Griffiths, whether he can keep Celtic on track by scoring and heading all the way to 40. He's managed to equal Henrik Larsson's record from 2003-2004 with 35 goals, but is there more to come? Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. Our bookroom guest, as ever, is Gordon Smith on a Monday night. Delighted to have your company. Let's continue our look back over the weekend, and of course we'll look ahead to some of the key games this week. Over the weekend, Celtic got that win, 35 goals for Lee Griffiths. It's a tremendous achievement, and as long as he keeps scoring, Celtic will feel confident they can get over the line, Ruffy. Yeah,
it is a tremendous achievement, particularly when he's the main striker, you know, and playing up there himself. You know, Michael will argue that, well, he gets chances, so he should be scoring a few. I mean, there was another couple on Saturday, he was clean through, that he could have scored. So when you play with the Old Firm and you're a striker, there's no doubt you get more chances than anybody else, and you have to be good enough to put them away, and 30 odd goals that he's scored is good enough for me. You know, I think he's come on a ton. We all keep talking about the play of the year. I think it's done and dusted. You know, he's had a fantastic season. I'm just really interested when the Scotland game coming up, you know, if he can prove whoever doesn't believe that he can do it in a Scotland jersey. I hope he can prove everybody wrong. Yeah, I mean, these are two friendlies, Gordon. When it gets to the competitive edge, that's when you find out players, and what we continually talk about with Gordon Strachan here, players' level. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, he's doing it at the competitive edge at club level. I think Griffiths has had a tremendous season and more to come, and he's the one that's really kept Celtic that lead. He's the one that's responsible for that, because he's consistent. I know Ruffy said he missed chances, which he did, and he always does, because every striker does. You don't put all the chances away, but if you look at the other strikers that Celtic have at the club, and if any of them were playing regularly, would they have scored so many goals? I doubt it, because I just think that he is a very good finisher. He knows, even the goal he got wasn't a chance as such. He made it a chance and stuck it away. So that's why he's such a key player for them. And I think at international level, it depends on the system that Gordon Strachan wants to play. But the fact is that Gordon Strachan's been playing with one striker, and that's where Griffiths now is playing with Celtic. He's a single striker. He doesn't need a partner up there in order to put chances away. So I think he's got to come into contention for the Scotland strip. Yep. Okay, you can give us your view at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter, facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy, and peterandruffy.com for any of the points, maybe something from midweek that's annoyed you, or something about your favourite team. From the Celtic score to the bottom end of the table, let's have a look at how the table looks. There you can see Dundee United, Ruffy, 8 points adrift, still got that game in hand. But Kilmarnock, there's now a 5-point gap, because I think Hamilton surprised us all at the weekend, Ruffy. Yeah, I think they did. I think they probably surprised themselves as well, because we thought Inverness, you know, had the quality up there. He'd got a couple of players back, but I still think Inverness, you know, they've lost a lot of crucial players. But by all accounts, Hamilton set in, soaked up all the pressure, and then nicked a goal. And at this stage of the season, you'll take anything that comes your way. That was a really crucial result. When I saw that one, it was one I wasn't really expecting. I thought that maybe the best they could get would be a draw. And then with Kelly losing, as you might have expected him to do, and Kelly's next game is Celtic as well, so they're probably not going to win that one. I think Kelly now, we were looking before, and we always thought that it was Hamilton, Kilmarnock and Dundee United, depending how they do for that, the fight to avoid the bottom two. Hamilton really did themselves a big favour with that scoreline on Saturday, that result. So Kelly are now, I think, in the mix really, and probably favourites to be maybe at best second bottom. But you know, Dundee United still have a game in hand over them, and I saw Dundee United play, and I felt they were a little bit unlucky against Motherwell. I thought they had chances and could have done a bit better in the game, but Motherwell in the end up vital points too, took them to the top 6. Yeah, absolutely. In the Championship, well, it was earlier on, in fact, I think on the Friday night,
You can see Rangers with that 3-1 win. I want to mention somebody, Ruffy, to you before we discuss the other results there, but Kenny Miller, I think, has been a tremendous credit. I think he's ideally someone that I think a lot of the younger players at Rangers must look on for inspiration.
Yeah, and I think every club need one. Everybody needs somebody like that walking about the dressing room, coming into the stadium. Everybody looks up to him, and the CV that he's got in the game is fantastic, even at club and international level. And it means that other players set standards, and when they see him scoring 2 goals, I think it just raises everybody's expectations, and they up their game when they see somebody like that.
There were 2 tremendous goals as well, Peter. That's the thing about them. I mean, they were great finishes. The header was, the timing, everything was perfect. Got above 2 players, and then he angled it at pace into the corner. Great header, and the second goal was a very, very good left foot shot high into net from it had to be very quick and timing of it. But I also thought that if you watched him Friday night, he doesn't look like a 36-year-old playing in that team. No, he does not look that age. You wouldn't, if anybody came in who didn't know anything about him and asked how old he was, you would never suspect for a minute he was the age in his career. Yeah,
4 games to go. Gordon, Rangers could have the title.
Yeah, I think they will. I can't see Hibs or Falkirk catching them at all.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have an age problem on this programme. The reason for that, quite simply, Ruffy, I looked at the weekend. Zlatan, 34, scores 4 goals, a hat trick in 10 minutes, and in the end, PSG win the French title with 8 games to go.
Yeah, I think everybody's waiting with anticipation to see what he's deciding to do, whether he's going to stay there. I think. I can't read his mind, but I would say the way things are going, everybody wants to have a chance at English football. Yeah. Everybody wants to come and test themselves. English football seems to have just stolen a march on everybody, and I would think a player of that calibre would want to try something else. I mean, I know French football's good, but I mean, the profile that the English football's got just now, I think he's the kind of guy that would come and just show us what he's got in his locker.
Nobody can read Zlatan's mind. I don't know if even he can, really, because he's definitely a very, very confident guy. It just depends whether he wants to do that, have that as part of his career, because he is cruising it when you think about it in France. I mean, if they win the league, 8 games to go, he can play for another 2 or 3 seasons there without any problem, and it's not as if it's going to be shorter money, wages-wise, because they are a rich club.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Zlatan has actually given an indication where he might end up or where he might stay, because he said he will stay at Paris Saint-Germain, Ruffy, if they take down the Eiffel Tower and put up a statue of Zlatan. I mean, I just feel as if he's lacking a wee bit of confidence. Whether that we can change that or not, only time will tell. Let's have a look at League One in Scotland and overall the results from there, because we were looking forward to that Ayr United Dunfermline game. In the end, Dunfermline out there in front, and I think we've got to mention Faisal El Bakhtou. He scored 2 against Ayr. What a season for him, 26. I don't think too many people will be voting elsewhere when it comes to the Player of the Year in that division.
No, but I think right at the very beginning of the season you were talking him up before a ball had been kicked. You know, that he's a proven goal scorer, and we thought as time went on, you know, he would start hitting the net, and he certainly has, and he's one of the main reasons. I think with that division, it's just all about 4th place now. I think Ayr and Peterhead have established themselves in there, so we'll just have to hang on to see who the 4th place is going to be.
Yep, and as far as I like his manager's comments on it, he says he thought he'd one of his quieter days. I'd hate to see him on blistering for him. As far as the League Two is concerned, here are the results from the weekend, and that Clyde victory over Elgin City, Gordon Smith. Suddenly, Barry Ferguson, is he starting to dream?
I think so. I mean, they're sitting in the 3rd spot, and I think it was a very, very good score. They've not been consistent, Clyde, but I think that they're in there with a shout. I'm not quite sure that they're not that far off top. Is it 4 points off top place? So they've still got a chance. And in that division, as you can see, week to week, it's so hard to predict score lines because there's nothing between the teams in that division. It's a very, very tight league, and it's an exciting league. Yeah,
absolutely. I wouldn't even narrow it down to that league. We've been trying to get a treble for the last 30 weeks, Ruffy. I don't think we've managed one.
No, I think we're actually staying away from that league now. We're trying to cut our losses and see if we can move on to something else.
Well, it was quite funny. I mean, I know you chose Airdrie, but in League One, And Saturday there was only Forfar was the only home side who got a draw. The other four home sides were defeats.
Yeah. Listen, there's even more bad news because Ruffy, John Baird scored his 18th of the season, albeit from the penalty spot, but I do not care. He's getting close to the 25 now.
Yeah, he's narrowed it down to a goal a game. So obviously from my position, I'm hoping there's the odd game he doesn't score, and that means he would have to score more than one a game. So, but let's hope it goes down to the line and you get beaten the last day.
I could see the line coming there, Ruffy, to be perfectly honest with you. Beardy on 18, come on, just make sure you do all your stretches. Well, I think the story of the weekend is almost certainly Ross County, a family club. I don't think anyone would begrudge them their day. There'll be people getting their photographs taken forever in a day with that League Cup for as long as that year before they have to hand it back. Congratulations to Roy McGregor and all the family of Ross County, from Ruffy, from Gordon Smith and myself. Thanks for watching. Good night.